Trigger warning, you're now watching Wrestle AM, coming to you live courtesy of Kocosports.com, Kocosports.net, your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. You got half the Koco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. Boom, boom, here, shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there way across the pond, the man full of Earl Grey tea and warm buttery goodness, talking about LK. What's up, buddy?
Let's not talk about warmth in here. Jesus, again, the fucking, it's like the second week in a row, the Impact review, and I'm wearing 5 layers. It's ridiculously cold, and I'm excited for the summer.
It must be really bad, because I hate it when the weather gets all wonky. Like today, I actually had to put on shorts when I went out today because it was just a beautiful 68 degrees here in Richmond. I had to roll down the windows of my car, let the breeze flow through. Yeah, I know. I hate it when the weather goes all wonky like that.
Bastard. Anyway, win, loss, or tie, everyone. This is the Genesis edition of Impact Wrestling for the 26th of January 2017. And Internet Infantry, get your thoughts, queries, win-loss ties in the live comments. We'll read them live on air after we finish breaking the show down. Booms, straight off the bat, win-loss or tie?
I'm going to give it a weak win. There were some minor things I had problems with, nothing too serious, but overall I was entertained. I enjoyed the show. I don't know if it's always been like this, but I know since Anthem has taken over and Dixie Carter has been pretty much cast aside. I think she's still like a minority stockholder or something like that. But ever since this news about Anthem taking over, and at least when you've convinced me to watch it, I've kind of enjoyed it. So there you go.
So are you no longer a TNA hater?
I don't want to go that far. Well, yeah, I guess we can go there because I don't hate it. I guess I really didn't hate it to begin with. I just hated the direction and the leadership it was under. And now that I feel like there's fresh people in there with fresh ideas. They've got a direction. It's not being run to stroke some old woman's ego. I can actually get behind the company now because I feel like, if I bought like merchandise, I wouldn't be putting money in Dixie Carter's pockets. No, I'd be putting money in the pockets of the talent.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I've covered Impact since I joined the channel, and it is good now that it's with Anthem. The Hall's out of the picture, and that's good. And the issue that I didn't like, straight off the bat, the issue I didn't like was they were calling this Genesis, yet there was no Genesis logo to be found anywhere. On the apron, not on the buckle, not on the stage, not in the Tron, nowhere to be found at all. It was like they recorded this as an episode of Impact, and they went, oh, we can call this Genesis. That's what it felt like to me anyway. Did that piss you off at all?
I don't know if it really pissed me off. I was just saying it was more so like some inconsistency. It was, you keep branding it as the Genesis edition of Impact, but you really don't bring it up. You don't mention it all that much. You don't have any different logos. There's really no different feel to it. So I would say that was just more of an inconsistency.
Yeah, maybe they didn't plan on it being Genesis, but then they thought, oh, we could do monthly special impacts, and thought like that. But anyway, show starts off with the Broken Hardys. They come out. Jeff talks about, what championship should he go for, now because he has the green briefcase, and next week on the open fight night.
They did open him, right? And so he's got number 1?
Yeah, he's got number 1. So he'll get the first pick. He'll be the one with the first pick. Matt says he then has a premonition, and that they should collect every piece of tag team gold all around the world. And a little fact, they won the tag belts in Crash in Mexico, which is a Lucha Libre company. Excuse me. Which is actually owned by Conan, which is a very interesting thing.
Conan, I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe he's scooping up all the people leaving AAA right now.
Yeah, no, I saw a picture of the house or the crowd story that they had, and they had a really great crowd, like a really big, at least 5,000 strong sellout crowd. Like, that was good to see. And if it's on TV, which is not, just sad, if it ever does come on air, I will watch it because the talent in that room for that picture that I saw was absolutely out of this world. Anyway, DCC, they come out. Storm says, They also have a briefcase. They're talking a lot about the briefcase as Decay comes out. Abyss, I like. Steve, I like Crazy Steve. When he cut his promo, he sounded a bit more like a monster. Because he was there like, oh, I'm crazy. Like, be crazy. Like, be psychopathic. If you understand what I'm saying. Like, I wish he was a bit more psychotic, more like, like punching himself like Freddie Store, just screaming or having a strange, deep voice. I kind of felt that it kind of humanized him a little bit. Voice. To me, it felt like he was very humanized anyway. And then what else have we got?
But I don't know if that's what you're going for. If you have like a monster / crazy, team, do you really want them to be humanized? I mean, do you want them just to be seen as like this, crazy people, these monsters, this unstoppable, just machines of destruction? That's just a question I'm throwing out there.
That's what I thought you would want. I thought that when Steve talked, I was a bit like, "Oh, okay."
No, I'm not saying I hated it. No, I don't say I don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it. I'm just saying, if that's the direction they want to go with it, fine. But I didn't hate it. I'm just like, but do you want to do that?
No, I didn't hate it. I'm not saying I hated it. I just thought it was very strange. I just wish that he would have talked in. Maybe he can't, and then it's not his fault. Anyway, Steve challenges them all to a triple threat match for the tag titles. Matt accepts, they brawl, which leads to our tag title match between the Broken Hardys, DCC, and Decay. Steve mists Kingston. Matt hits the Twist of Fate on Kingston to get the win. Nothing to go home about. Just a standard tag match.
It's a standard okay match. Like, the start off was just kind of clunky. It was just kind of like, okay, we need to have a reason why we're going to have these three teams fight. So they all start talking. It was like, okay, guys, let's just wrap this up. And I liked it when James Storm's like, yeah, we're in. And then they started having the match. And then I think the ending, to me, just kind of came out of nowhere. Crazy Steve, who actually starting to remind me just a little bit, not too much, but a little bit of the Great Muta, blew the mist. I think it was in Eddie Kingston's face. Was it his? Or was it Bram?
No,
okay, it was King. Okay, Kingston takes the mist. This allows a maneuver off the top rope, or not. He comes down off the top rope. He walks right into the Twist of Fate, gets pinned by Matt Hardy. So the Hardys retain. No, the match was okay. I mean, it wasn't like, I just felt like I was like, okay, if this kind of gets going here, I think we could have something. And they just kind of ended it. But but it was the opening match. I felt like they're saving for something up a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it was just, okay, we have to have them on the show and let's do it. There was nothing wrong with it at all. There really was nothing wrong with it at all. Backstage, Drew Galloway says he's gonna typical. This is vintage TNA booms. This is one thing that used to piss you off. Drew Galloway, says he's going to say what he needs to say in the ring. But here's a little sneak peek.
Yes, I actually laughed out loud because it was like those TNA things. Like, oh, I'm not telling you, I'm going to the ring. What the fuck?
And then he goes, I'll be defending the title tonight. So at least he did give. Maybe he's like, oh, you know what? Fuck this. Here's a little sneak peek. I'll be too embarrassed to have that air. So it was okay. Anyway, then we had a Josh Matthews sit-down interview of EC3. EC3 keeps talking about how he keeps failing to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Says how mentally and physically he's broken. Josh Matthews asks him, is it his time to go away? 3 then says he should heal up, but he won't leave until he is made to leave, and says he is on a mission about redemption. And then in the line of the night, he goes, kill them all and let God sort them all out. I did really like that line from EC3. Mm-hmm. Good promo. And if say Kocosports did what I think What Culture did when they have the What Culture Pro Wrestling, if we had Kocosports Championship Wrestling, KCW, EC3 would be the world champion of the company. I don't care how much you have to pay. If we were millionaires, EC3 would be my world champion of any company. Any company.
I don't know.
The guy's gold.
I can picture that, and I believe this because this is an actual private conversation between me and LK and Sammy. We were actually considering pulling together money because we were to see how much it was going to cost to have Pentagon Jr. hang out with us for a day. Not having a match. We were going to be like, hey, look, we want you to hang out with us for the day. No, you don't have to take any bumps. You don't have to do any matches. You don't have to sign any autographs. You don't have to do any of that. You just come hang out with us. We'll go out to lunch. We'll go catch a movie. We'll go bowling. We'll do something. You just got to hang out with us for the entire day. And we were like, seriously going to look in to see how much that would cost.
Marky comment of the day. There you go. And then there's backstage. It's like a meal. with Braxton Sutter. He's with Lauren Vell, whatever her name is, LVS. It was just the start. We'll talk more about that when something actually happens. So then Galloway comes out. Galloway says whatever he does is for the better of the company and offers an open challenge for the Grand Championship, which I thought was a good promo. I think Galloway is a good promo.
I think that was a really good promo. And that was almost, I mean, it was a good, he kind of did one thing that was kind of a face, what makes a great villain is a villain has to believe in his heart of hearts that what he's doing is right. And I felt like Drew Galloway did that. He took some shortcuts, but he ultimately feels like what he's doing is the right thing. He feels like, he had to take a shortcut, but he's going to make the Grand Championship mean something. He's going to defend it. He's going to be a fighting champion. So, it's kind of like, to him, the ends justify the means. So, to me, I really, really love that. The person I didn't like to see talk was Moose. I didn't feel like that was necessary, and I think him going out there talking actually kind of hurt him a little bit. And I don't mean like,
there's nothing wrong with the way. There was nothing wrong with the way he talked, Booms. There is nothing wrong at all.
Yeah. So, it's one of those. If it was me booking it, I guess I'll kind of go into the match too, but. I would have had Galloway do everything that he did because I loved it. I thought it was great. I liked the explanation for the hoodie, his motivations, what's behind everything. I love that. Moose, on the other hand, I would not have had him talk because I just feel like he's just like he should be pissed off, and he was. He should have been absolutely pissed off. It's like, I've got an open challenge to anybody. Here out comes Moose's music. I would have had him just walk straight down to that ring and just put with a fucking death stare completely locked in on Galloway. And then I would have had him just get right up in Galloway's face. Referees in between, no, wait for the bell, guys, wait for the bell, then ring the bell and just let him go. That's what I would have done differently. And you get into the match. It was perfect. Moose took the advantage at the beginning because they're doing it on a point system, and I'm not a huge fan of the Grand Championship because you're basically doing a pro wrestling match with MMA rules, which to me, I really personally I don't like it. I like that they're making this work, that they're trying to do the best they can, but I just don't think going MMA lights is the route to go, at least for pro wrestling. But I love the first round. Moose absolutely dominated, as he should have. It's like, is he going to get his championship immediately back? Then they go to round 2. There's one thing that I would not have done. And
I know what you're going to say.
Okay, what am I going to say? Go for it.
You're going to say about how they replicated the finish and made Moose look like even more of a cunt.
Pretty close. The problem I had with it was in the second round where they did that spot where Galloway gets knocked down, and as he falls backwards, he kicks Moose in the groin. To me, from the way it looked like that was unintentional. But I kept thinking. So last week, because I remember that's how he won last week, and then the referee just gets all pissy. He's like, I want 1 point deducted. 1 point deducted from Galloway. 1 point. And then they go and they do all this stuff again, and then they do a ref bump where I think it's Moose gets shoved into the I think it was Galloway gets shoved into the referee. Referee goes down. Galloway sees it. He kicks Moose in the groin. Hits that double underhook DDT. Referee comes back around. Galloway's got the pin. 1, 2, 3. Galloway retains the championship. So with that, I would have done everything except for that one groin spot in the second round where the referee took off the point, because I really felt like that wasn't necessary.
And why would Moose? Right, the reason why Moose lost the title last week was because when he got kicked in the balls, he got straight back up. He didn't take time to recover and got straight back into it. Here, he got kicked in the cock, got back up, and did exactly what cost him the title last week. That makes him look like a moron. Kayfabe-wise, story-wise, that makes him look like an idiot. I didn't like that. I liked the
Yeah.
match, and unlike you, I'm a big fan of the Grand Championship style format because it means the longest the match can go is 9 minutes, and there's so many easy stories that you could branch off. And B, it means those 9 minutes, the rest is going to go balls to the wall. So you know you're going to get a really good match. And this was a decent match. Galloway getting the win. And I'm just interested to see where Galloway's going to go from here, who his next challenger is going to be.
Yeah, because you got to think now that Moose is out of it because he lost the championship match, then he lost the rematch. Granted by nefarious means, but he lost it. So who's the new challenger going to be? Was Moose going to move on to, or is he going to let it go? Or is he not going to let it go?
No, interesting. And then we went backstage to the dinner with LVS and Braxton Sutter. Sutter doesn't want to be there. LVS forgives Sutter for helping Ali, and then he's there and he's really depressed. And he's like, I don't want to be here. So he just gets a whole wine bottle and starts jugging it. Yeah, it was okay. He just looked bored of listening to her. And then we went on to a very good match. We went to a Monsters Ball match for the Women's Championship. You have Jade versus champion Rosemary. And the first piece of offense in this match was a sweet tope suicida from Jade to the floor. Jade had some leather belt shots, a German suplex into the tacks, an STO onto a barbed wire board, a springboard moonsault onto a barbed wire board, which was on top of Rosemary, and she landed on her head, and it really looked nasty. And then Rosemary, it looked brutal. Rosemary got the win with a superplex through the table. Post-match, Gail Kim comes out to check on Jade. Rosemary missed her. Really good match. Love the physicality. And lots of people talk about, Sasha Banks and Charlotte setting the standard for women's wrestling. That may be the case, but will we look back in 10 years and say this might be the match where the hardcoreness in the women's wrestling was elevated? Because normally, you get the chair shot, you get the trash can lid shot, but here there was thumbtacks, there was barbed wire. Now, I'm not saying that it hasn't been done before in like an indie, etc., but for a mainstream weekly television show, I think in America at least, I think it could be a game changer. And I think people will watch hardcore women's wrestling a bit differently now on TV because they've seen this. I think it really is a big deal. And we'll look back on this and think, geez, that was a big moment. But what were your thoughts on the match? Because I absolutely loved it. And I hate deathmatch wrestling. But it was for the belt, and it was Jade, stepping up to, this was Rosemary's match, but Jade was the one with the offense. And it shocked everyone, but it proved what Rosemary would do to retain her title. I really enjoyed this match.
I think the reason why you may have liked it is because they went hardcore, but they didn't go hardcore, if you know what I mean. They did some spot with some tags, and they did some stuff with with the garbage can, with the kendo stick, but the barbed wire stapled onto the plywood. I looked at it. I don't even if it was real, they cut all the prongs off. So I think it was one of those where you had concern for the character, but not for the person. And what do I mean by that? Back when I was a young man, I actually took drama in high school. Imagine that. Yeah, I know. Shut up. Yeah, actually all 4 years, kiss my ass. I remember going to like a drama competition back when I was in high school, and they were also offering all these workshops. And one of the workshops was stage combat, where you could choreograph fights and everything. And we, and one of the things that, of course, this is back during the Attitude Era. So we're just like, well, how can we do this? How can we do that? How can we do this without making it hurt? And they're like, no. You want to throw some punches and stuff, and you want to have it. And they were trying to show it how you could look semi-realistic. You could, do some slaps and hits to make it sound like you're making contact with somebody. And the whole point they were trying to make was you want to have people be concerned about the characters you're playing, not you as a person. And that just really stuck with me because I want to have concern for the character that's in the ring, not the actual person. Like, oh my God, are they really going to die? Are they really hurt? Are they going to bleed to death? Did they break something? No, you want to be concerned about the character. And I really felt like their brand of hardcore worked in this aspect because I know the tacks were real because Rosemary had one actually sticking in her shoulder when she got back up. But I don't think the barbed wire was real. So it allowed me to kind of enjoy it because, I had concern for the character Rosemary, not for the woman actually playing her. I really enjoyed this brand of hardcore. Jade really took it to her. She didn't look bad. She just caught a bad break. She took a little too much time. She got superplexed off, went through a table. Makes complete sense for her to lose like that. She didn't look bad. Rosemary, comes off as just badass. She took this beating like you wouldn't believe. I think that moonsault with the plywood and the barbed wire on top of her, I think that was a botch. I think Jade went too far to one side or didn't get enough. Or when she jumped off the top rope with the moonsault, I think she maybe a leg slipped or something because she went kind of sideways and she came down on Rosemary's head, which is not what I think they wanted to do. Or maybe they did, because that way she doesn't completely just lay out on a piece of hard plywood from the coming about 10 that's 6 feet in the air. I like the fact that Gail Kim makes a comeback. Check on her friend Rosemary. It gets the heat back on her because now she blows the purple mist in Gail Kim's face. And now, okay, there's probably our new feud right there because now Jay's been defeated. Who's Rosemary's new challenger? Oh, here we go. It's Gail Kim. So good job all in all, TNA.
And there's actually a big backstory of Gail Kim kind of training and being being the protege of Gail Kim. So now you've done the student match. Now you can do the teacher match with Gail Kim. And I think that's the big money match, which has been building for a long time. And I think that would be a good match. I agree with everything you say. The barbed wire it didn't look fake. It was just the way how, it didn't make her bleed in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. So I think that's why we could enjoy it because we're thinking either it's rubber or they cut all the prongs off on the barbed wire, so that way it didn't cut anybody open. It's like, okay, she said, I love the way that Rosemary sold the pain. I mean, she was just like shaking, just trembling. I love how she was selling that. And so we were able to have concern. We were able to have concern for the character, not the performer, which is my huge problem with hardcore matches. When you start breaking light tubes off on people, it's like, okay, this isn't fun. This isn't entertaining. This is just kind of deranged.
Yeah, you guys know I don't like deathmatch wrestling, and I never will. I think there was one death match that I enjoyed. And I remember being really pumped about it. There was one death match, and I remember it was the whole point of the review was because I enjoyed one. I can't remember. It was a lot. I do too much to fucking remember. We go back to the dinner with LVS and Braxton Sutter. She invites him back to hers for some sexy time. Braxton Sutter then says, he's going to find someone who pays the bill. And then LVS is on the phone with Maria telling her about, our poor Ali. I was expecting Ali to be like the waiter or something and slap her or something like that, but... they're going to save this and drag this one out. And I'm just interested and excited to see Ali beat the shit out of LVS and Ali to distance herself from Maria and maybe go for the knockouts to a women's style, whatever you want to call it. But it was okay. There was nothing bad about it. It didn't make me cringe. So they did a good enough job, I guess. And it made me excited to see Ali kick her ass.
Okay.
And then we went to the exhibition title match. We had Trevor Lee, Andrew Everett, Marche Rocket, Caleb Conley, and DJZ in a 5-way. There was a really nice spot where everyone in the match, one hit a Draper DDT, another one hit a DDT, another one hit a reverse DDT, and the other one hit a neck breaker, all 5 involved. That was really cool. Everett hit a springboard crossbody to the floor. Rocket with a surprising Taker-esque dive to the floor. Conley with a bridged belly-to-back suplex, and as he's bridged... Everett hits a springboard shooting star into the ring to take him out. That was amazing. And then DJZ gets the win with a DDT. After all of that, the match ends with a DDT. And that's nothing.
Yeah,
nothing bad about it. Just
I was just kind of surprised by that. And I was also kind of shocked that the match went so short.
Yeah, you have to remember there was a 30-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah, true. But it was like, okay, it's over. What the fuck?
What you watch there, that's what the Cruiserweight division should be like on Monday Night Raw. That right there and that stupid show 205 Live, that is exactly what Monday Night Raw should be. TNA does Cruiserweights better than WWE. And that's proof right there, because I've been moaning and groaning about Cruiserweights. And that's exactly what. They went out there, they got their characters. You know who's a heel, you know who's a face, we know who the next challenger is for the title, being Trevor Lee. You had tension with Lee and Everett. Could that be something in the future? And you had crazy spots that made the crowd cheer. That's what it's all about. That's cruiserweight wrestling done properly in a TV format. When it came to a pay-per-view or a long show, that could have been a lot longer and maybe a one-on-one with some psychology, but I actually enjoyed it. And post-match, the Helms Dynasty took out DJZ with steel chairs. Lee has that briefcase, so I'm expecting Trevor Lee versus DJZ next week on Open Fight Night. What were your thoughts on the old X Division match?
No, I enjoyed the X Division match. I just kind of wish it was. I understand they had a 30-minute Iron Man match to do afterwards. I just kind of wish it went a little bit longer, and it's just like, oh, okay, it's over now. What the hell, So, but no, I enjoyed it.
So it made you want to see more. So how would you see more? Pay for the pay-per-view to watch the long match? Simple. That's what Monday Night Raw should do. Simple. Like they had Rich Swann and Noam Dar go 5 minutes. Have them go 5 minutes, but let them do what they want, not wrestle your shitty W style. And then we go backstage to Eddie Edwards. He's telling Davey Richards to stay backstage, and Davey Richards looks fucking pissed off. And then we have backstage Matt Hardy makes Vanguard 1 show Jeff basically the champions. And DJZ, the X-Division champion, comes on and goes, Matt, look at that. It has Spot Monkey. That made me laugh. Jeff then says it's time for him to be world champion, but Matt has a premonition. We don't know what that is, but it's a good hook to make you watch next week.
Yeah, I think it's good enough to get me to watch next week.
Yeah. And then we have the 30-minute Iron Man match for the World Championship. Lashley versus champion Eddie Edwards. I'll go through the falls here. So Lashley got the first fall with a spear. A powerbomb on the ramp, which got an oh shit bleep, which I thought helped. I think that really, even if he didn't actually say oh shit, I think the bleep helped, made that feel more impactful. So good job there. And then Edwards lost by count out, so that's 2-0. Lashley then hits his head face first into the exposed buckle. Edwards rolls him up, that's 2-1. Edwards is a Boston knee pie, so 2-2. Lashley applies a vice to get Edwards to tap, that's 3-2. And Lashley, what have we got here? So yeah, the match ends when Eddie Edwards has Lashley in a guillotine after he counters the spear, and there's like a minute left. And the story is, if Lashley taps, it's a draw, Eddie retains. But if Lashley just holds on for 60 seconds, he'll win the world championship. So this amazing thing at the end. Lashley, the vintage, arm raise 1, 2, and then there was like 2 seconds left on the clock. So Lashley quickly pushed his own arm back and hid his arm so that the referee was trying to quickly grab the arm, but he just couldn't. So you're protecting the champion, because if it wasn't for Lashley, hiding himself, Eddie Edwards would have won. And you had Lashley win and look like a monster because he prevented the referee from lifting his arm. I thought that was a great finish, and I really enjoyed this match. Recommend everyone to get out of their way and watch this. Really good stuff. Lashley's the new world champion. Let the Eddie Edwards, Davey Richards saga begin.
I enjoyed the Iron Man match. I really did. I think it had a good pace. I think they had some good spots in there. I did like the power bomb to the outside. Edwards getting counted out. I actually like the ending, even though that Eddie Edwards lost. He didn't look bad. It's just that he just ran out of time. That's just all. It's all it is. He didn't really. I mean, yeah, he lost the match. He lost his championship, but he's got the out. He had the guillotine locked in. Another 10 seconds. Lashley would have passed out. It's just hey, the time wasn't in his favor. And he just ran out of time.
Yeah, no, I think it was a great way of protecting Eddie Edwards. And, then maybe Davey could... I'm just excited to see Davey Richards versus Eddie Edwards on a mainstream program. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. And we'll get into some live comments now. And Kevin Eric Snell says, did LK just pronounce Sega as Sega? I don't know how that... Sega. Yeah, I might have said it wrong. I do apologize. But get some live comments. We have Andy Paps Baby. He says, win a lot better than last week's Impact. Agreed. Match of the night was the 30-minute Iron Man match. Agreed. And Dixie Carter owns 5% of the company. Still got mitts on it. Jade and Rosemary were amazing. Agreed. I'm so glad Don West is back. That's a great shout. Don West on those Shop TNA videos are absolutely priceless. That guy could sell anything. Literally, he could get this used monster can and sell that for like £2. The guy's insane.
I have not watched that little infomercial of him with the brown bag specials on TNA. Go out of your way to watch it. It's worth it.
It's hilarious. The entertainment. You buy it just because you want to support him, not the company. Victor Varela says, win from me. And the crazy Steve Joker style promo. Okay, so it's a Joker style. Okay, from the Batman. Okay, I understand that now. Okay. Chauncey Bullock says, Brother Nero, LK, I knew you'd come. Andy Pap says, would you push, here's a question for you, Booms. Would you push Crazy Steve down the line?
What do you mean push him? I mean, like like the X Division championship or something? Yes. But as far as like the TNA championship, no. Grand championship, he can visit, but I wouldn't put it on him.
Here's a great comment from Kevin Eric Snow. Bless Crazy Steve for getting so far based on gimmick and charisma alone. Here's a question from Andy Paps. What form of tag team would you want TNA to bring back?
Ooh, that is a good one. Actually, it would be a faction. I'd probably either bring back Triple X or Sports Entertainment Extreme.
I thought we were going to say Fortune or some main event mafia. Who would I bring back? I loved the British Invasion. I loved Magnus and Doug Williams. I loved that faction. That was like prime like 2009, 2010 with Rob Terry as well. My God, what is that imbecile doing now? Rob Terry.
What is he doing?
He turned into like Robbie T and started dancing and then got fired. Or maybe they found juice in his bag or something. I don't know. I don't know about him. But I would have the British Invasion. But Magnus now and Doug Williams now. That'd be amazing. Kevin Eric Snell says Motor City Machine Guns, but Alex actually hates TNA right now. Chauncey Bullock says, Brother Booms, I knew you'd come. Kevin Eric Snell says, ready for Broken Matt Hardy to crash the Rumble. Andy Paps, I would love for some Motor City Machine Guns to return. I would love to see Bad Influence return. I just think they're overrated. I think Christopher Daniels is very overrated, and I'll cry if he wins the Ring of Honor World title with the next pay-per-view. I really will. But damn. Andy Papp says Moose needs a manager. We can agree to that.
Yeah, that would actually really help him out. Stokely Hathaway and Veda Scott really helped out Moose more than what a lot of people realize.
Agreed. Hiding weaknesses. Andy Papp says I keep the championship belt but get rid of the rules and have it defended normally. That's fair. Victor Varela says women in TNA could do everything they want on WWE. Depends on if the talent and the push. So basically what we're trying to say is the TNA women can do what they want. You know, they can wrestle their style they want, whereas WWE have to wrestle the WWE style. Which is sad. Chauncey Bullock says beat up Moose. The X Division has a bright future. I agree. I'm actually kind of excited to see where Caleb Conley goes.
Is that the same Caleb Conley over in Evolve?
Yeah. He's not with Evolve anymore. Kevin Eric Snell says, whatever happens, don't ever throw EC3 into the lake of resurrection or you'll become Derek Bateman again. Andy Papp says EC3 needs to turn heel. TNA Open Fight Night to return next week. Hashtag Sorga. Hashtag beat up Don West. No, we will not beat up Don West. We love beat Don West. Getting to the close to the end here, Booms. This is just the last page. We've got 4 more. Kevin Eric Snell says, has a Biz given up on being upper mid-card or main event ever again? Maybe. Andy Papp says, I'd love to see Crazy Steve in the X Division. Andy Papp, we are World Elite. God, with skinhead Eric Young. Jesus Christ. Kevin Eric Snell says, Rob Terry wrestled for OVW for a while. He was doing a master gimmick calling himself The Freak. Wow.
That's not a very good name.
Freak. Andy Paps then says, I would love to sports entertainment extreme back in TNA. And then Chauncey Bullock says, beat up Booms. And then Adrian Carmenetti said Eddie Edwards to become the John Cena of the X Division. That would be kind of interesting him to go back to the X Division. I don't think he'll ever go back up to the World Title Division for so. When you think he's just a transitional champion to get hype, I do feel Eddie Edwards will go back down to the X Division. But thank you to all live comments. Booms is you're still there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you everyone for the live comments, and thank you everyone who's listening post live. Go back and check out our Royal Rumble pay-per-view predictions. Make sure you go back and check out our NXT Takeover San Antonio predictions.
yeah, by the
We're
way,
doing a pay-per-view profit.
get your picks in, man. You got until the pay-per-view start. Once they start, then all bets are off. But until then, go ahead and put your picks in. Just spend, hey, take a chance, see what happens.
Worst case scenario, you lose. Best case scenario, you win, and you get announced as the winner on air, and you'll look like the smartest motherfucker in the internet infantry. And also, tomorrow, I'll be going live with an Evolve 76 review immediately after the show airs. Saturday, we'll be going live with the NXT TakeOver San Antonio review immediately after it airs. Sunday, Royal Rumble will be 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes after the show airs. As if I've got to walk back from my friend's house, which is just down the road. I've got to walk back and set up the old laptop machine. So look forward to that. Go check out our predictions. Go check out Kocosports.net because it's an amazing site. We talked about Kenny Omega earlier on the site. So head over there to learn the newest information about Kenny Omega. I'm excited because officially right now it's my vacation week, Friday to Friday, so I'm very pumped about that. I'm going to pump out some content on Kocosports.net, so check that out. And thank you for watching. And Booms, do you want to show us why you're the best salesman minus Don West in the business?
All right, I want everybody to check us out at Kocosports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass. Most important, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. We've got a lot of new content on there. We've got the location of the 2018 Royal Rumble that's been announced. We've also got an update on Kenny Omega's future. We got it straight from the horse's mouth. We've got that article posted up there on Kocosports.com. You got to check it out there. Also, be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We're cranking out these shows. We're cranking out those reviews all the time. We're pretty much reviewing it. If it's out there, we're reviewing it. So there you go. So thanks for watching us. And you know what? This is Booms for the rest of the Koco crew saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.